When you access the app for the first time, you'll see that login page. The great thing is, though, once you've done that, you won't have to do it again. So because I've been on the app already, you're not going to see that today. The other thing that will happen the first time you open it is you'll get a pop-up with a disclaimer, and you'll have to agree to the terms of this disclaimer to be able to gain access to the app. Again, once you've seen that, you won't see it again. But if you do, for any reason, want to have a look at the T's and C's, you can see on the bottom of the app here, we have a More section. If you click that, you see we've got the terms and conditions here, and you can access them at any time that you would like to. But in general, you'll see that the home page of the app looks like this, and we have the 4 responder categories there. The information within each of these is displayed in much the same way, but the information is tailored to each responder category. For the purpose of the demonstration today, I am going to go into the police section, but you do have access to all of these other categories as well. So feel free to have a look through them and see what sort of information we would give and how it would differ for each of those responders. So when we first go into the police page, you'll see we get the process page. And on here is that step-by-step process. So we have step 1, approaching the scene, step 2, preserving or recovering, step 3, documentation, and step 4, information for the CSI. And then beyond that step-by-step process, we have some standalone sections of the app. So we have a sexual offences section and an equality, diversity and inclusion section, which I'll show you in a little bit. So we're not going to go into any great detail today of the information that's in here. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of it. So for example, if we come into approaching the scene, you'll see we've got a little box here with a bit of information and then 2 bigger boxes below it. In this little box here, what constitutes a crime scene, you'll see this plus symbol on the side. And anywhere where you see that, it means there's a drop down of additional information. So you can just read the brief information if you want to, or if you have more time and want to learn more about that point, you can click that drop down and it'll give you much more information here. So you can see that's given me additional text. Then if you press that minus button, it will close that back off again for you. These 2 bigger boxes here, if I click them, they'll take me through to a different page and give us some additional information. So say, for example, I want to know about approaching a volume crime scene. If I click on here, it'll take me through to this page and you'll see I've got some different information on here. And this is a really handy checklist. So we have the additional drop-down points. So if we want to learn more about anything, you can click that or close it. But you'll see the boxes on the side here. And this is really useful, for example, if you're doing a practical and you want to keep a record of what actions you have taken. Every time you complete an action, you can click the checklist here and you'll see that it puts a little tick inside of there for you. The great thing with this is, for any reason, if you need to go off the app and come back to it later, so if I shut that down, you'll see when I click back in, if I go back onto that checklist, you can see that it's remembered all of those points. So it has kept a record of the actions I've taken. If you want to clear that when you're ready, you can click this refresh button in the corner and you'll get this pop-up. Would you like to clear your saved ticks? So if I say yes, it takes them all away for us. And again, the major category scene is much the same. So we've got the checklists that are relevant for a major category crime there. If we go through to preserve or recover, you see again, I've got some information that I can learn more about. Or underneath here, we have points about preserving a scene, which should always be the first priority, or we have some points around recovery. If I click in preservation, you'll see we've got information for different categories that we might be at. So we might be at an indoor scene, outdoor, we might be dealing with a point of entry, dealing with digital evidence, or dealing with a person. And each of those, if you click through, gives you information specific to the scene type that you are at. Within recovery, we have another step-by-step process. So we have choosing your appropriate packaging. And within here, we have some different types of packaging material, which is really useful. We have step 2, recover the evidence. Step 3, package, seal and label. Step 4, maintain continuity and integrity of the evidence. And then again, at the bottom here, we have 2 extra pieces of information that aren't part of the step-by-step process, but they are really useful. So for example, we have recovery of samples from a detainee. And if we click through into here, it talks about intimate and non-intimate samples. The next things we have in that step-by-step process are documentation, so some key things to document there, and information for the CSI. So this really is designed for police officers when handing over a scene to a CSI to enable them to go about their examination knowing that they have all of the information that they need before that. Outside of the step-by-step process, as we mentioned before, we have the sexual offences section, and within here, it gives us some initial actions to take and a flow chart of the steps to go through. We have some guidance while dealing with victims, some preservation advice that is specific to sexual offences, and again, recovery that's specific to that as well. The EDI section covers within here some best practice tips. It gives some key points of legislation and some useful definitions and information around EDI as well. And this EDI section is really important because when people are conforming to these best practices, it helps to build confidence with the communities they are working in, particularly with some of those communities that might be that little bit more vulnerable. So within best practice, we cover some information around religion and cultural awareness, we cover subcultures, and we cover global health as well. I hope that demonstration has been useful and gives you some more context of what you can find within the app, and also gives you the heads up on how it functions as well.